Richard Wagner was born in 1813 and died in 1883. He was one of the great composers of the opera and a unique innovator.
Exploring, as only Wagner could do, the dilemma of the individual artist confronted by a society that will not and cannot and refuses to understand or acknowledge a new development. And of course that's always been the case in opera. You know, the avant-garde, I was always amused at that phrase, because the avant-garde is always there, because art's job is to push the boundaries, expand the boundaries.
In the Paris version of his opera Tannhauser, which took place in Paris, obviously, 13th of March, 1861, he was to add a ballet, because that's what you did at the opera in Paris. They had an amazing ballet company, and all composers who wrote for that opera house or wanted their operas performed had to include a ballet. This was Grand Opéra. Wagner was competing with many other composers, but especially Meyerbeer. Meyerbeer had created incredible spectacles, one bigger than the next, and actually Wagner was quite jealous of these successes. Now, Wagner knew very well that he was by far the better composer, but Meyerbeer had a knack for creating spectacle that got on Wagner's nerves, frankly. With Tannhauser, the ballet scene comes right at the beginning of the opera. It comes out of the overture. We must remember that the opera is about the tension between the spiritual and the sensual. And this conflict is embodied in the character of Tannhauser.
In Tannhauser, Wagner explores the opposition between the spiritual and the sexual, as his hero, Tannhauser, is torn between two women, Venus, who represents, of course, the goddess of erotic love, and Elizabeth, the woman who loves him. This is put in the background of the conflict between an artist and a society for whom he creates, and what in fact is the avant-garde. So Tannhauser is a unique work because it actually treats with the work you're actually seeing itself, and it's not for nothing that it turned out to create such a scandal at its premiere. Tannhauser, who is in love, as we said, with Elizabeth, has somehow disappeared and has been spending time with Venus in the Venusberg. Elizabeth, who has loved Tannhauser ever since she was young, waits patiently for his return. He returns to her, but he's changed forever by his experience with Venus. And Tannhauser is a poet, and at a contest, a song contest, in fact, he's a poet and a singer, he creates an enormous scandal by singing a song of erotic love. The society is appalled, and Tannhauser is sent to Rome to pray and expiate for his sins. He returns from Rome without being blessed. He learns that while he's been gone, Elizabeth has died, has remained faithful to him. And as Tannhauser himself dies, the news comes that the Pope's staff has blossomed. A miracle has happened, signifying that Tannhauser has been forgiven.
So how does Wagner create the sensual, the obsessional in music after the energy and excess of the beginning of the ballet? Well, he starts with one bass note, just one, what we in music call a pedal note, which creates a carpet underneath the music that's going on above. So here's the note, F sharp, and here's the melody. Alternating the oboe with the violins. And this repetitive nature of the music, there's your pedal note again, creates an obsessional feel. Sighing, music that is on the offbeat. He finally changes the note. The music hovers, as if a sighing figure comes back again. We're back to that other music. And all this repetition makes us want to urge the music on. Will it change? Where is it going to bring us? It's psychologically extremely astute on Wagner's part. It's creating in us unrest. And repetition in music will do that, but with such sensuality in the notes, in the chords. Absolutely fantastic.